Mulibwanji, how are you? My name is Taonga Julia Kaunda-Kaseka and I reside from Lusaka, Zambia. I am the founder, director and most times the curator of Modzi Arts, Art and Cultural Space, created in 2016, kind of in a frame to provide a space, a platform for artists both in music and visual arts. And more and more, I think now that I have more experience, I find myself curating and taking up that title, but I think there's a lot to do with what curators do. And I'm on a journey. I'm learning how to be the carer of the artists, both their mental, their physical, and the work that they finally create. Everybody needs to go to school. And not all formal schools are necessary. So I think it's important for there to be schooling and those to be schooled. And I think that's how I reflect on mentorship. It's an alternative way of how others can be schooled. And it's very necessary because in the context of Africa, not everyone can afford to go to school. And so mentorship is needed to assist younger people, be it younger or even older people, to rethink, to have time to learn from experience. And I do believe that is the best teaching, the best schooling, because there are things that are not normally in a textbook, and different structures and frames, especially looking at East Africa, something that's new to me. So I'm very excited to learn both about East Africa, but also coming from Zambia, I've been reflecting as well. My charge has been to make Zambian art seen or heard in the continent. It's not participating in this contemporary gaze. So how can we have more artists be in that space? And I think it's nice to see a collection, especially women, because we play a very important role for me. You know, we are the givers of life, the carers of our societies. Even I try to make sure that we shouldn't forget our traditions and our culture. Otherwise, I'll be living in the West. I live in Africa because it's very important culturally. We have to keep our culture. The Western have their culture, South Americans have their culture, Asians, they have their culture. And then in Africa, there is a push to forget the culture. So we must become more westernized, more colonized. I think the freedom, the people who created freedom a long time ago, to reflect on this moment of women in history who have fought, and it's not because they forget their position at home to fight for the freedom. Yes, it's important. We are the carers, we are the cookers, we are the ones who can give an important for our community. But if we have the chance to mentor, to now start to cook younger people and older people, and we come together to kind of exchange this knowledge, there's a hope for and a future for such kind of programs, and there's a necessity for it to progress. And because you're just touching on East Africa, you've brought Zambia, there's South African women, Zimbabwean. Next time you need to bring Congolese and Cameroonian, you know, Malagasy, who are a bit far from, but there needs to, there's 55 countries, 54. So there needs to be, I think, an important conversation, especially that it is based on Africans teaching Africans. Yeah. And there needs to be, I think, a bit more about their tradition. You know, looking at the festival is talking about a parable that has been and is, and people kind of forget or don't even understand. The younger people, they would sing along to it, but maybe they don't understand why these kind of songs or these kind of discussions have been a part of our culture. So it's important to still keep our values as Africans and to teach, to create these alternative spaces where we can learn and teach, because not everyone can afford to go to the West or go to Makerere. So yes, I think it's a relevant program and it must continue.